Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. You know what? For those of you guys that are still panicking, it seems like every other day there's panic in the streets about Bitcoin's movement. Well, today I'm going to set you guys straight. I'm going to show you why Bitcoin is right on track and why there's extreme upside still left. The bull run is nowhere close to being over, but it seems like every other day or every other week, I'm getting the same kind of comments, same kind of fear. And you know what? I'm gonna smooth you guys or calm you guys down today. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. If you are new, 2 streams every day, 11:30 a.m. and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you tune in, you hit that notification bell, and also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, especially Instagram, Facebook, and that way you won't miss on any of my content. I'm working on TikTok too, although I don't know how that's gonna work out, but hopefully that'll work out. But anyways, those of you guys that are already here in the chat, welcome. Always appreciate your support. Let's do this. Let's change my screen here. Here we go. Okay, so Bitcoin went down a little bit, 56,500. It went down as low as 55,600, but you know, now it's crawling back up, right? And again, I'm just seeing, even in the comments, even on Twitter, just, you know, overall, people again are having a lot of fear about what's going on. Like, why is Bitcoin not at 80,000 already? Why is it not at 100,000 already? As if, you know, it's really that simple. if Bitcoin just keeps going up and up and up and up nonstop every single day, well, that's going to be a disaster. That's when you know the top is actually near. The fact that we are having consolidation periods, we have periods where there are up and downs, this is what you want to see. This is actually normal. And also why you want to see this is because you have a buying opportunity. You don't want to buy when things are ultra high. You want to buy when things are low. That's how you do it. Buy low, sell high, not the opposite. I know some of you guys love following buying high and selling low, but you gotta get out of that. You gotta take advantage of the dips when there are dips, and then you can profit from them, right? So stay strong. Don't ever panic sell. Don't ever panic sell. If anything, panic buy, but dollar cost average, spread out your buys, and just hodl. Hodl. And that's the way to do it. So right now it's at 56,600. Still, a lot of people are panicking. But if you look at the overall market cap, we're still at 1.89 trillion. We're still at 1.9 trillion. Not too long ago, you know, I would say like a couple weeks ago, we were back down to like 1.7 trillion. You know, that's a 200 billion swing. So despite the fact that Bitcoin went down, enormous 2% today, the overall market is down 4%. We're still at 1.9. We just formed a new high at 2 trillion just yesterday. So there should be zero panic going on right now. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You look at Ethereum is still right around 2,000. Bitcoin, Binance coin still around 380s. It just hit 400 yesterday. So this is back to the same point it was yesterday, basically, right? And Cardano is still hovering around 120. And you know what? The list goes on, and look at Theta. Theta is up 9% today. So things are looking pretty good. So let me show you, though. Let me show you what I want to show you, which is Bitcoin being right on track. But first, you know, the reason why, you know, this happens, one of my new theories is, well, first of all, a lot of people still think it's the miners dumping, and it could. But CryptoQuant and everyone else removed a lot of statistics, so you can't really see if F2 Pool, whoever was doing it before doing it. But I do know there are parties that's doing it. Primarily, they want to take advantage of people that are extremely greedy and longs. I've been covering this topic day after day after day after day, but there are still people that argue with me and tell me, no. You go like a short leverage, a 5x leverage, you're fine. You're not going to get liquidated. Well, tell that to the to the people that are losing hundreds of millions of dollars every single day by using leverage and by going long, by being greedy. Today is a big one, 400 million, and a day is not over. Long liquidations across all the exchanges, and yesterday was smaller, 130, day before 100, day before 140, day before that 385. So you can see the pattern here. I've been telling you guys this. No matter who you watch, who you study, the experts of TA that can never be wrong, they will tell you this is exactly what's going to happen and why you should leverage, because you're going to make a lot of money. Well, this is what's been happening. You don't want to listen to them. They want to make that affiliate cut from you. Do not listen to them. If you are not a hardened, seasoned trader, like at least 10 plus years experience, do not think that you can outsmart the whales that's driving the short-term volatility or the direction of the market right now. You cannot beat them. All these so-called TA guys, if they were really that good and they're 100%, they would be multimillionaires or billionaires trading from home. They would not need to create videos to educate you. So think about that. So this is why I say leverage is extremely, extremely dangerous. Do not do it. And you can see over this past month, long traders, okay, have been getting killed, especially with leverage. Now, if you don't use leverage and you simply buy, you'll never get liquidated. You'll never get liquidated. Even if you buy a SHIT coin and it goes down 99%, you still hold on to that coin. You didn't get liquidated. That's the difference. There is always a chance that that coin could come back. And we're seeing a lot of that now, despite these coins being dead for 3 years. But if you get liquidated, it's gone. You can never recover from that. And you know what happens? It makes you more desperate. So then you try another leverage. And maybe this time you try a 10x instead of 5x because you think you're going to make it back. And then you put yourself in a worse and worse scenario. And that's when you really get wrecked. And trust me, I've seen it all. I've experienced it too. And you guys know what I'm talking about. A lot of you guys that watch me and a lot of Patreon members tell me that they got suckered into leverage or they tried it and they failed miserably, right? Do not do it. It's just not worth it. If you're going to try to day trade, fine. If you think you're outsmart market, day trade. But don't use leverage because you're going to get wrecked. Wrecked. Get that through your heads. I've been saying that for a long time, but people just don't believe it. And that's why more and more liquidations keep happening. So that's number one. That's my first point. Number two is, okay, let's look at something that we can all agree on, and that is the stock to flow model. Stock to flow model created by someone that, he looked at this model that correlated with gold in terms of the supply out there, right, versus how much is being created. And this is something traditionally that you use on precious metals, but this is now applied to Bitcoin. And if you apply it to Bitcoin, you could see that this is pretty darn accurate. Very, very accurate. Going back all the way to 2010 or 11, right? And you could see that these jumps are 10x jumps. $1, $10, $100, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million, right? So right now, we're making a jump from 10,000 to 100,000. Okay, and you could see this is correlated with this color scale. It makes it very easy on the eyes to detect where we are. And you can see the last time, Bitcoin was around this point. It was in orange. That was about just really the beginning of the last cycle. The beginning of 2017 all the way to May of 2017. So January to May, Bitcoin was still under $2,000. In fact, it was more closer to $1,200. And you could see from that point on, so that 1,200 went all the way to 20,000. And that's when, things got really crazy, right? But look at where we are now. We're right around the orange area. So, and that is us being at $58,000. So imagine if Bitcoin went from 1,200 to 20,000, and that was only like halfway through the bull cycle. Imagine where Bitcoin will be once this tops out in the light green area. That's go shoot well past 100,000, and that's why a lot of people think it'll be $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 before maybe we come down. I don't know if we're gonna come down 85% like previous times, but there will be some sort of top there, right? But look at where we are. We're nowhere close to that. So if you're looking at this, man, Bitcoin is right on track. You can see it's hugging this line really well. Beforehand, in 2017, it was a little bit behind. But this time around, man, it's accelerating. And we're ready at 58,000. And this is only halfway through the market. So imagine when true FOMO hits, what the market will be like, what Bitcoin will be like, and what altcoins will be like at that time, right? So looking at this, Bitcoin, right on track. Right on track. This is number one. Number two, look at the logarithmic growth chart. Bitcoin, starting from the beginning of time and all the way, right? You could see it goes up, down, up, down, up, down, and we're coming up from our low, right? And now we're like, according to this, we're about 3/4 through. We did not hit the top yet. And the top up here is at 100, actually a little bit of over here, it's $107,000. So looking at a logarithmic chart, Bitcoin is on its way to $100,000 for sure. For sure. Now, the other one, Stock to Flow, is predicting that it could go even higher than that, but this is predicting that at least $100,000. And this is over a long span, right? And when you look at it this way, yeah, it just seems like things pretty much go up forever, but you don't notice all these little dips along the way, right? And right now, if you look closely, this doesn't even look like a dip right here. I zoomed in too much. I screwed up there. How'd I go back? Oh boy, I can't go back. Refresh. Okay, here we go. But you can see. And even without looking at this, if you look at the bottom, I think this is more like, I don't know, this is just the oscillator, like almost like an RSI, kind of like a measurement of if you hit that peak. So you could see here, and now we're not there yet. We're not there yet. So is this a top? No, I don't believe so. And lastly, here's another one, 200-week moving average heat map. Shows you the 200 weekly moving average. A lot of traders look at that as an absolute bottom, like Bitcoin utilize that as a bottom, especially during crypto winters when we determine where a bottom is. So you could see that coming off of our bottom, we're on our way up. And again, kind of like the stock to flow, if you look at the colors right now, we're about here. Basically, if you look at this versus this in 2017, it's more like 5,000-ish in 2017. Nowhere close to the top of 20,000, right? So looking at all these models, it shows you that Bitcoin still is nowhere near top. There's still extreme upside, so you don't want to give up on Bitcoin. And even if you are 100% in altcoins, which you should not be in, Bitcoin continues to go up, the market will be carried by Bitcoin. There's no doubt about it. Even though recently Bitcoin dominance have been dropping, there's no doubt that the market is still driven by Bitcoin. Just like this morning when Bitcoin fell down to 55,000, you saw a lot of altcoins dip drastically, right? So make no mistake, it's not like altcoins decouple from Bitcoin. No, that has not happened yet. But there are definitely some that can stand on their own, but Bitcoin is still leading the market. So yeah, Bitcoin has a long ways to go before topping out, and same with altcoins. All right, so that's what I wanted to lead with and just kind of compare right now versus 2017 and just basically show you these models are saying Bitcoin is right on track. It's right on track. All right, there's a couple pieces of news I want to show you guys. Number one, CZ of the biggest crypto exchange on earth, Binance, says that he has close to 100% of his money in crypto, and I'm pretty sure most of that is in Bitcoin, because CZ, if you look up his history, he's one of those guys that sold his house and sold everything early on to buy Bitcoin. So he was already insanely wealthy before he started Binance. But anyways, to quote him, I would say probably close to 100%. I don't own any fiat. The physical stuff that I own is probably negligible in terms of my net worth. So this is a concept shift. I'm not using crypto to buy fiat. I'm not using crypto to buy houses. I just want to keep crypto, and I don't plan to convert my crypto into cash in the future. Well, it's easy to say when you're a billionaire, first of all. But second of all, he's not the only one. A lot of people are like this. Pompliano said he's pretty much all in on crypto. I've said that. I went on Meet Kevin's show and I said that too. A lot of people is following this concept because those of us that's been in a while, we understand Bitcoin, we understand altcoins, we understand the decentralized nature of the tokens we hold and how they could be the future. There's just really no point to hold fiat. You hold enough to pay the bills and that's it. Everything else, keep in Bitcoin and keep in altcoins. Why not, right? Now, sometimes I do agree you should diversify. There are other assets worth holding. Real estate, basketball cards, NFTs, some would argue, right? So I get that. It's good to be diversified sometimes. But, holding fiat right now just seems very, very, very risky, other than if you wanted to buy back in and you want to take advantage of the dips. So then, holding fiat wouldn't be a bad idea. But you get the point, right? You get the point. All right, so moving on from here. What else? Goldman Sachs to offer full spectrum of Bitcoin investments. So, of course, Goldman Sachs, following the footsteps of Morgan Stanley is going to offer 3 Bitcoin funds to their wealth clients. Now, Goldman Sachs is going beyond that. They're going to do anything, basically, to make a buck. But they're going to offer physical Bitcoin, real Bitcoin, derivatives like futures and options, and traditional investment vehicles. And I'm assuming those are like investments into Bitcoin-related companies. So they're basically going all out, telling the wealth clients, hey, get involved with Bitcoin. And if you look at this, Goldman, if you're curious, Goldman Sachs private wealth management businesses mostly target individuals, families, and endowments with at least 25 million in investable assets. So that makes me 25 million away from that criteria. So you have to be insanely wealthy, basically, to be a wealth client of Goldman Sachs and probably Morgan Stanley, right? So these guys, when they're going in, they're putting in a lot. They're putting like millions at a time. They're not putting a few $100s, right? These guys are going all out, which is why the outflow from the exchanges, the outflow of Bitcoin just keeps increasing, because these guys, along with everyone else, is buying as much Bitcoin as they can, while retail investors are freaking out over, a 1,000-point drop for Bitcoin, a 2% drop for Bitcoin, right? You don't want to be one of those guys. You don't want to be one of those guys freaking out. You want to follow these guys, the big guys that are buying the dips, that are buying as much as they can. They're not freaking out. They see a golden opportunity to buy, and they do. So that's what we need to follow. All right, what else is there? I mentioned this. I think I was the only one to kind of correlate this a few days ago, where Facebook, they were hacked, and about 500 million accounts and everything that relates to those accounts, like phone numbers, addresses. Good thing Facebook doesn't collect Social Security, but basically all your private information were leaked onto the web, right? And according to this article, the number of SIM swaps and account, hacks and all that stuff has been going up dramatically. So this is one of the reasons why. Because if they have, critical information from you, right? You know how a lot of password recoveries require you to enter some personal information, like what's your dog's name or what was your first job and stuff like that. Those kind of stuff they can get from your Facebook profile. They also know what your email address is, right? And they know your phone number. So there's a lot of things that they could do, especially, if they want to do a SIM hack, they could call in the carrier and say, hey, I'm so-and-so. And they're like, okay, prove it. Well, I have all this information, right? So there's a lot of stuff that they could do. So you got to be careful. Very, very, very careful. First of all, don't put all your information on social media. Second of all, you should probably not utilize them as much, except to check out my social media. And then lastly, if you do utilize any kind of centralized exchange, make sure you turn on 2FA like Authy or Google Authenticator, right? Otherwise, you're going to get wrecked. You're going to get wrecked because if you choose SMS or email as a two-factor authentication, they could be exploited and hacked very, very easily. It happened to me before too. So make sure you turn on Authy or Google Authenticator and, you know, use a thumb or a pin lock or something onto your phone, right? Make sure you do that. So that way you're protected. That way you're protected. But yeah, you don't want to be hacked. It's not a fun thing. It's not a fun thing at all. All right, what else is there? Ripple wins discovery. Judge grants access to SEC internal records. So now Ripple gets to see basically the criteria that SEC applied for Bitcoin and Ether, why they're not a security and why they deem XRP a security. So yeah, so they now get to see what made SEC, you know, determine this. Not that this is a full win, but I guess, you know, for the XRP army, they see this very, very bullish, right? Because Ripple has been arguing, we don't know why you view us as a security and why you don't view Bitcoin and Ether as a security, right? So now they'll get a inside look, and maybe their lawyers will be better prepared for it. All right, what else is there? Okay, so this was released after, or maybe released before, I don't know. After that, I released my video about that massive $5 billion worth of Bitcoin outflowing for exchanges. Well, half of it, unfortunately, is related to this, that Binance moved basically 2.3 billion of their own BTC into their BTC B coin. So that is just a synthetic token, a synthetic BTC on top of Binance Smart Chain. So unfortunately, 2.3 billion is with them, but still it takes it out of circulation somewhat, so it helps a little bit. But that means 2.7 billion is unaccounted for. So that's still a lot. So that still means someone bought it, put it somewhere, right? We don't know who, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, that's pretty much it. So two other things. Very important things that relate to me. Number one is the giveaway. I'm going to talk about this every single day. 5 ETH giveaway. This is going to increase. A lot of people still can't figure out the secret code, but I'll give another clue after this video. You know, it's three characters long. We're in crypto, so put the two together, and I'm going to give you my secret code. Anyways. Check out all these other ones. Follow me on social media. You have to be able to be able to win. But I will expand this 180,000 entries, guys. So if you haven't entered, you should really do so. At least put one, right? At least one. And then also relating to this is my Georgecoin. So I decided to update it. Oh, by the way, if you want to see this, it's pinned to my Twitter, and also my Georgecoin, right? So I've been getting a lot of emails and through Instagram messages, Facebook messages, people asking me questions left and right. Some want more private time. They have deeper questions they want to talk to me about. So I decided to open up engagement with Georgecoin. That's one of the things I said I was going to do, so I'm going to do so. So here, if you go to the document, I pinned it to the comments. I have it in my description, in my live chat, everywhere, right? So I'm going to do something interesting. I kind of said this. A lot of you guys do super chats with me here, but some of you guys get pissed off because I skip over it. It's not that I do it on purpose. It's just so many, right? So I'm going to do a separate video now, Q&A, just for people that send me Georgecoin. So send me 5 Georgecoins along with a question in the notes, and I will read it off. I'm going to compile the whole list, and I'm going to read it off in a separate video that I'm only going to post on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok later so that you guys can see it. And I think a lot of these questions you guys will be interested in hearing because they're general questions that a lot of you guys have, right? Especially newcomers, especially newbies that just don't know any better. So there you go. Another one is email Q&A response. If you have something more urgent, then you can send me 10 geos and I will write back to you as thorough and detailed as possible. And if you want to have some one-on-one time with me on Telegram, just text only, not calls, you can send me 50 geo and we can plan something out for 20 minutes on Telegram. So this is just a start. There will be more, but overall, you know, I'm trying to create use cases for Georgecoin for you guys and also utilize it to fund the Vegas party later this year and other events. Okay, that's pretty much it. I'll turn it to you guys for Q&A. Going back, you can see the market cap is coming up again, 1.91 trillion. So as I've been talking, the market cap has been coming up. I mean, really, there's no, Theta is killing it today, 10% today. Even XRP is still climbing up 1%, down from the $1-ish. I caved in. I said, if you don't have any exposure to XRP recently, it's probably not a good thing. So I did cave in and say that. But yeah, today is just one of those days. You got to say, hey, I've been gifted. Now I could buy some of these high-flying coins at a discount. I mean, that's really the best way to look at it. All right. James asks, ETH price prediction for April, July. It's too specific. April, July. Why don't you just phrase that? April, May, June, July, and the end of the year. It really depends. I think April is a very, very bullish month overall for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin goes up 30% this month. That would make it around $80,000. So I'm thinking Bitcoin could be around $80,000 by the end of the month. And if so, that would put ETH probably, if you do 30%, let's just do 50%. ETH could probably be up 50%. I don't know if they're going to go that high, but that I would say somewhere between $2,500 and $3,000. Let's say that. July, I don't know. You just have to equate. It'll just keep going up. If Bitcoin goes up 100, to, let's say 500,000 by the end of the year, 10x. Ethereum could be at 20,000. No reason why it can't. Crypto for the people, Sean asks, look at ideology. It's 10 million market cap, which is very, very low. They have a whole platform to take idea, to get a consultant, get investors. So they're like almost an angel investor / incubator. Right? I don't know, honestly, if that's going to do that well. I mean, usually guys like this, I was just looking at it like in terms of angel investing, right? You got to have like experience and you got to have connections, right? Kind of like on Shark Tank. Those guys have done it. They have connections. Otherwise, it's really hard to really partner up with someone that actually can get you to where you want to go, right? Looks like they're partnered up with Bitcoin.com and KuCoin. Okay, so I don't know what kind of partnership. You could put your new ideas. You could find a team to join. And you could do crowdfunding. Yeah. Seems like they're still very new. Very new. And did they even have their ICO yet? Yeah. I like the fact they are on KuCoin. That's probably one of the smallest market cap on KuCoin. I'd say the idea is not revolutionary. It's kind of like the first one I've seen outside of like a launchpad thing. They may be very too early, but well, keep an eye on them. Propel. Peru. Well, that doesn't look good, man. They got pumped up to the moon and just tanked. One platform, global services. They're having an ICO. Get crypto. New chat service. A DEX. Yeah. I don't know. It looks like the same as like 100 other projects. So I'm going to skip that one. Thoughts on BPro? Why is it dumping? Well, I think quite simply because it went up too much and now people are taking profits, right? So if you look at where BPro is now versus before, it's still like 10 times higher. So, I just think I like Rue. I like the project. I think they're doing a lot, right? So if you like the project, basically hold on and dollar cost average. I think a lot of people jumped in because it was I think it was a little hype too. So, but I still like BPro. I mean, I like Rue. After that interview, I don't know if you guys checked it out. After that interview, Made me believe in the guy. What else is there? KuCoin token, bullish or super bullish? I'm very bullish on KuCoin token right now. With the Coinbase IPO coming up, I think KuCoin is going to go very far. And they have been. They were on page one. Yeah, they're on page one. Look, they're up 25% today, above $12 and nearing $1 billion. So they are rocking it right now. I don't like Eternity because there's too much hype around it and there's not a lot of information you could get from the website. So it's not that I don't like it. I'm just saying neutral because I don't see anything that makes me really like them at this point or anything that stands out really. Sora and Eureka. Working on Polkadot, and I think I looked at this before. It looks very familiar. Number V1 is based on Hyperledger. V2 is PokeSwap. All right, yeah. So they are concentrating on being a DeFi chain. A DeFi chain. Tools to use for digital assets, atomic token swaps, and others. Yeah. So it looks like they're all about, DeFi. Probably DEX, lending, staking, all that good stuff. So let's just quickly look at advisors. Any noticeable ones? Why are they all dressed up in a what do you call it? What do you call what the samurais wear? Why is it that I clicked on advisors and it shows a CEO and all these advisors? CEO should not be there. That should be a separate part with team. So where's the team? Yeah. These guys all look like serious guys, except the CEO. He just doesn't look like he belongs, and I don't like the fact he's in like a dojo or something. How does that relate? It doesn't relate at all. So I'm gonna say no. Eureka. Yeah, I looked at this before. It's like copywriting. It's like copywriting your whatever. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it because it won't stand in court. What's the point of copywriting or trademarking something if it won't hold up in court? And almost everything in like crypto is supposed to be open source anyways. So, they have a saying in Silicon Valley is, ideas are $1 a dozen, but execution is what's important. Like, someone could give you the best idea ever, and you could copy someone else's project. You could fork Uniswap. Doesn't mean that you could grow it to a Uniswap, right? So, I mean, a lot of things in crypto, it's supposed to be open source. It's like, hey, you could go fork it. You could take it. But it doesn't mean that you're going to make it into something, right? So I don't know this whole thing about copyrights with crypto. Good time to buy BMI, OMI. What's BMI? Bridge Mutual. I'm not a fan of Bridge Mutual because they're an insurance play. And Ecomi, I think, could be. I mean, I'm trying to get an interview set up with their CTO, Dan, I believe. But yeah, they got pumped up a little bit too hard. Now they're coming down, but still, they're way higher than where they were before. And I like their licensing. I think overall, my overall thought about NFTs is the market is getting a little saturated. Every single day, I'm getting asked about 3 or 4 different new NFT marketplaces. There's just so many, right? What will really stand out is the licensing, the exclusive licensing that some of these projects have, and Ecomi does have them, so I think they're going to do well. Bog Finance looks good. What about token itself? Bullish or bearish? Well, I did I did do a sponsored segment with them about the token. I don't know if you're talking about the platform looks good, and you're asking me about the token and like what, like to do TA on it or something. You know what? Right now, the important thing is to concentrate on the project and the team execution, all that stuff, right? So I did do a sponsor segment. I think I'm going to do another one with them soon. But yeah, they look pretty interesting on the Binance Smart Chain. They have all those tools, basically oracles and all these tools to help projects on Binance Smart Chain. So what else is there? B Pro or SHA? What's SHA? Safe Haven? I don't like Safe Haven, so I'd add it too. B Pro for sure. Yeah, Disney blockchain, Dragon Chain. Yeah, I know. No, they screwed up one too many times. Speaking of which, I am having an interview with Amrit from Zilliqa later today. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I have like several interviews this week. So with them, Chain Games, with Hashgraph. So I don't know if I'm gonna do another interview week or I'm just gonna like release it in the midday. I think I'm just gonna do that once I'm done with them. Engine 1inch, OGN, list on Coinbase could be big. Yeah, if they're gonna be listed on Coinbase, they're all gonna be big. So I really like Engine. Engine has been stagnant recently. But being added on Coinbase, that's a big thing. So they're up 10%. They're probably going to be up like 50% by the end of the day because of that. What's OGN again? I forgot OGN. Origin Protocol. That's another one I like. They're getting involved with NFTs. I think Logan Paul just said that he's going to do some more NFT stuff with Origin. But I've talked about Origin in the past too. They're a decentralized marketplace provider, but they're getting involved with NFTs. And 1inch I've talked about too. So I think those are good listings. I'm surprised 1inch is getting listed though. But it'll be really good for Engine, that's for sure. I have no idea what this is. Content delivery, yeah. This is too broad reaching. Like to create your own content delivery networks, basic caching of the internet, that's gonna be really tough. Really, really tough. They're kind of like doing what NKN is kind of doing. Like it's just too encompassing. Happy is asking, do you think it's worth to get in a Launchpad coin so I could buy IDO from them? I worry Launchpad coins will crash. Could. First of all, Launchpad product coins themselves are not doing well. It's the IDOs that are doing well. So, IDOs are doing really hot right now, but I don't know if that trend is going to continue, right? So just be careful. Don't FOMO into something just because it's a trend. Look at why it's FOMOing, why people like it, right? And then make that determination. Backs. I don't see backs listed. Is it this one? BAX? Yeah. I think I looked at this yesterday. Not that it's not interesting, but I don't know. Oh, they're actually I was looking at this yesterday, and I got turned off just by looking at that because I didn't even get off the first screen because they don't say anything about donations. But then if you scroll down, they're all about donations and fundraising. So I don't know why they don't put this right up here, because yesterday I was making fun of the fact that they had to put in state of the art. And then made for those who believe in power, financial inclusion. Like, come on, just get rid of that garbage. They should just state what they do. We help people raise funds and support a cause. That would actually sound interesting. You see, a lot of guys in crypto, they have no idea how to market. And I'm not an expert on market, but I'm just saying, if someone wants to learn about your project, you should just state what you're all about at the first, really the front page. I mean, this is more interesting now that it's more of a fundraising thing, but I don't know how many people are going to use it, right? It really depends on how good you are, I guess, in terms of raising funds for causes. So I'll just say it's okay. All right, anything else? Who's spamming? All right. I think I'm gonna let... What? Okay, that's it. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. Overall, Bitcoin came down a little bit, down less than 3%. People are panicking. You should not be panicking, right? Hopefully, I showed you guys the stock to flow, the logarithmic growth chart, the 200-week moving average heat map. It shows that, yeah, we're right on track. Not everything you see here is a linear up. There will be up and downs, right? So the best way to the best way to look at it is you're given a buying opportunity, a price point that is lower than yesterday. Things were really hot yesterday, right? Things are still pretty hot today, but still, you get a lower price point today to be able to dollar cost average some of your favorite projects, right? That's the best way to look at it. And like I always say, do not use leverage. If you go use leverage, you go get wrecked. I don't care how seasoned you are, you go get wrecked. Unless you're like a day trader by trade and you really know what you're doing. Even then, I argue that it's probably 50-50. But still, look at the longs, look at the liquidations. Yes, it keeps happening and it keeps happening and keeps happening. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you liquidate it, you're done. So don't do it. But overall, no need to be panicking. Things are right on track. And of course, make sure you check out the ETH giveaway if you haven't already. And of course, if you want to utilize Georgecoin, check it out. I have it pinned and there's some cool engagement opportunities there. All right, guys, that is it. Smash with a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned tonight. All right, take care. Oh, I promise I'll give a clue. All right, clue to the giveaway. Here's the clue. And this is for you XRP fans.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.